It's Open House Thursday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi Brown. As always, I have ladies with me. White in the building. You look lovely. You're wearing my daughter's favorite color, purple. She loves purple.
It was my late sister's favorite color, actually. So every time I wear it,
you
like,
remind,
I'm in the spirit.
Fantastic. How are you doing?
On Tuesday, I forgot to mention that it was my cousin, Brigadier General, Brigadier
General.
There's a brigadier, there's a general.
He's a Brigadier General.
Yes.
Anytime. It was his birthday on Sunday, same day as Pio. So he actually sent me a text. In fact, he flashed me during the show.
You don't remember that?
Because of man, you forget your cousin.
You forget your cousin.
I'm remembering I sent him text on that day. So anytime, happy birthday. Then Mr. Zibiri too was on Monday, but because of my experience, I did not say happy birthday. Happy birthday.
All them Aries people.
My friend Dakpo was her birthday yesterday. Dakpo, happy birthday. And then today, it's our one and only. I'll be She said, her age. She said, please, she told me her age. When she told me the age,
I begged you.
Okay.
She said, yay. So I will say it next week. Today I'll leave her.
Nimo, how you doing?
I'm fine.
Thank
I'm
you,
grateful to God. Happy birthday, BC.
Thank you.
I'm praying to God for something special today.
Aww.
So I'm hoping that.
I know you've been very calm. I felt that this you're closing to the end of the fasting. So
yes.
It's your quiet time.
I haven't even discussed the price of things. So my usual Jagaban style would have given Taylor assignment. I did not give Taylor. Then my daughter calls me from school and says, "Mommy, I want this style of abaya, 3-piece abaya." And I went shopping, and the prices were like, God. But we are grateful to God. I did not feel, I just did not buy for myself. I have bottom boxes that I will use. But for my kids, I had to buy. It was expensive. Ridiculous.
Now we get business past the jubilate, say the first thing the end.
Not the end.
Now
The people that are cashing out now are those people, yes, in the business. You know that ice block sells for 1,000 naira one block, 800 naira one block in my area. But in fasting, it's 2,000 naira for one.
Because you know that you
So
guys
I want to go and open freezer now and start a new business. Yeah.
Let me come to you. Better girl. How you doing?
Amazing.
Shine, baby.
You look very, very lovely.
Thank you.
What's up, so?
Odogu P has been delivering his constituency. You know, so by
Achalugo.
By Odogu P now. My husband, yes, he has been delivering his constituency since over 2 weeks now.
Nice.
So by 5:30, he had woken me up this morning. I had to pay I had to pay back in some way on my birthday, you know. So I'm good.
I'm grateful
to God.
That's why you're looking tired.
I'm not looking tired. I don't have makeup on my face because I'm flaunting my skin. I'm not looking tired.
Now I get it.
Oh, she was.
I wanted to sleep 1 hour. I had to pay back all the things I've collected this period.
Fantastic.
I had to pay it back. But I'm happy. I'm grateful for life, for family.
Look at cameraman himself, the life.
All interested.
My mom is around.
Everything.
Oh, nice. Hello, mommy.
Yeah, tomorrow I'm celebrating my 5 years business anniversary at the store all day. It's going to be party, eat, drink, and shop. And so she came to support me, and I know when I get home now, she's going to pray for me, all the prayer, God bless you, God keep you,
Is she
God keep
cooking today? Because me, I want to
There's food
cook
in my house. There's always food in my house. You know that. But I'm not doing a party. I'm just chilling.
That thing you cooked. The vegetables of I watched it. I patiently. You think I was learning? I was patiently. What are you watching this? I didn't know. I want to see the end product. And is it like you really enjoyed it?
Yeah, it was lovely.
What did you cook? I missed it.
This vegetable with potatoes, chicken.
Is it on Instagram?
Yes, I posted on Instagram.
I'll go and look for it.
But I'm grateful to God. I'm happy.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Good.
Murayo. All the way from Dubai.
Yes,
give us your gist. Give us your gist.
There's nothing. Dubai is not sweet if you don't have plenty of money. You know, I went to some heavy lifters. I was giving some people some gist. I followed them to Gold Souk, thinking that, somebody said I have some small money. Let me just get some gold. Let's go gold. I reached the place. They said $4,900. I take like 3 steps back. Like this ain't me. for bracelets. And the ladies are thinking, they're all there, okay, it's affordable now, no, and they're all there buying and thinking, Father Lord, I'm in the wrong crowd. You are. I just said, I just stepped my bag, okay, no problem. $5,000 for Bangu, for Garabarit.
The gold souk. when the guy saw me, he said, you know, he saw my.
He saw what
He said, no,
No, this shop is not for you. Didn't even let me price.
But I was able to buy my tennis bracelet in the plane.
Okay.
It was affordable.
Okay.
18 carat. You know what I mean? At least I felt like this is my very first gold purchase in my entire life.
Yeah.
That I used my own money to buy because my
buy.
mother
You're the
always
ones having
supplies.
gifts.
My mother has always supplied me, but this one, me, Mariah, use my money to buy it,
And
and
it's
I love it.
beautiful.
I love it.
It's beautiful.
Let's go on the shop. It's our
Chop your
gisting
money.
day. Now we're going to shop. When we come back, we'll have our front pages of the review of the front pages. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. We're going to start with the nation. CJN Fashola warned against rising misconduct amongst lawyers. IBAS fires Fubara's political appointees. INEC notifies Natasha and Senate of recall petition. Only 1% of rich Nigerians pay tax. Adeleke Oke's camp for clash victims. 20 states yet to fully implement contributory pension scheme. Edo government ratifies suspension of 71 Enigie by Oba of Benin, Iwuare II. And DMO declares 1.09 trillion naira sukuk proceeds. Okay, which story are we taking?
Okay, let's start with Edo. So the Edo state government has ratified the decision of the Oba of Benin and suspended the 71 Enigies. They are like dukes in the Benin kingdom that were, they had, abdicated. The Oba of Benin, they'll call it betrayal. So they started acting counter to the objectives of the Oba of Benin under the last administration, and the former governor sort of ratified them, and so he gave out 5 executive orders that were issued to back them up. So according to the Commissioner for Information and Communications, to this governor now, he said that the state's executive council meeting at the government house in Benin said they approved the ratification of the suspension of these enigies, and it is a move aimed to maintain order and discipline in the state traditional institution. He said the actions of the enigi amounted to a cultural coup when they attempted to overthrow the Oba of Benin, and this move made a significant issue to the Oba of Benin. It's against a rebellion, they consider it a rebellion against the first-class monarch. The Traditional Council of Benin has announced the suspension of the enigi and alleged that they engage in anti-palace and rebellious activities against the Oba, which they went to court for. But now the governor has, ratified their suspension, which means that they must find other ways to resolve the issue, or maybe there will be appointed new chiefs or new enigis to work with the Oba.
Right.
But they said that they stressed that the Oba of Benin is the Oba of all the people, no matter how highly placed you are, or no matter how highly exposed you are, you derive your validity from the Oba of Benin as a Benin person. And noting that the eminent Oba of Benin is not only powerful, he does not make mistakes and does not apologize.
Okay.
And overall to everybody.
Interesting.
Yeah, so the National Pension Commission, PENCOM, has mandated states and local governments to implement the contributory pension scheme, that's the CPS, for a pension secure Nigeria. The Pension Reform Act, PRA 2014, in Section 2, subsection 1, stipulated that the CPS applies to all public sector employees across the Federation, including the Federal Capital Territory states and local governments, as well as the private sector. So in a statement signed by the Commission, it noted that in line with the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended, state governments have the constitutional right to legislate on pension matters within their jurisdiction. As such, state governments are required to domesticate the CPS, that's the Contributory Pension Scheme, by enacting appropriate pension laws within their states. So they said in August 2006, the National Council of States and had adopted the CPS for all states and local governments. And to support the adoption, PENCOM developed a model state pension law, which enabled state government to modify it according to unique needs. PENCOM reviews drafts also state pension laws and guides that were released for the implementation process. But so far, many states have not been able to adopt this, and they're saying that you would be, fined if you're not adopting this. Every state, every local government, every private sector must have a way of getting the contributory pension for their people.
So let me take the only 1% of rich Nigerians are paying taxes. So a report published by 3 or 4 major agencies released by the Tax Justice Network Africa, that's TJNA, Oxfam Nigeria, Civil Society Legislative Advocacy Center, and Oxfam Novib urged the government to capture the rich in the tax nets. According to their report, 99% of tax payment, the evasion is from rich Nigerians, and they're responsible for the 6% report of the tax to GDP ratio that we have in Nigeria. So only 1% of Nigerians are actually paying taxes. 99% aren't. After investigating Nigeria's tax system, the organizations revealed the disproportionate tax burden on the poor and the vast untapped revenue potential from taxing the rich and the ultra wealthy. So they're saying that obviously the rich in Nigeria, many of them are not paying taxes. So all they're just using
capture them.
Yes.
All this money we're looking for and borrowing, you will have
If
it.
they can capture them, it will be very good, though.
Hey,
You know?
like who's them?
They know themselves. They come and look at my account. I'm not rich. So I'm not even afraid. So I took the Ibas fires for Fubara's political appointees, the River State Sole Administrator Ibok Ete Ibas, yesterday suspended all political office holders appointed by the suspended governor. He also ordered the heads of administration in the local government areas to render accounts of their performances, and those affected are the state secretary to the state government, chief of staff, commissioners, chairmen, members of all boards, councils of agencies, blah, blah, blah. So he has suspended everybody, and he has employed
Sole administrator or something?
no, a secretary or something.
Okay.
Anyway, I'll get it. I'll let you know.
Okay, fantastic.
And I'm wondering, how is he going to know what these commissioners? I mean, they are political appointees. I don't think they should have entered inside the same boat that Fubara entered. I mean, because unless you find that they're wanting or they haven't done their work,
any appointee can be removed.
These are political decisions.
Appointees can be removed. The civil servant that he cannot remove.
He's not an indigenous.
Auntie, he can remove appointees. Civil servants are running the ministries anyway. Anybody can lead them.
Yes, now usually. Commissioners don't sign the checks. It's the PSCs that signs the checks. So, moving on now to the Punch. 91 groups seek INEC registration as coalition talks gather steam. Picture story here. Ugu Morocco signed MOU on energy, port development and infrastructure. Zenith Bank profits hit 1.3 trillion naira. Review hike in data costs, Senate tells NCC. Traffic snarl as motorists battle flood on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. New Constitution, Anyaku, Yakasai, Oshoba to meet National Assembly. Reps move to convert 37 Lagos LCDAs to local government. Legal profession facing ethical challenges, says CJN. Natasha recall, INEC notifies Senate of Constituents amend committee petition. And states oppose bills seeking immunity removal from VP, governors, and deputies. Okay, which story? Let's take one story for the break.
I have the CJN and the
which story do you have?
Of Lagos State, legal profession facing ethical challenges, according to the CJN. So she was speaking at the Body of Benchers inaugural annual lecture and the public presentation of the report on the Legal Professionals Disciplinary Committee, and she emphasized, the importance of the ethics, discipline, and professional responsibility amongst lawyers. The report was titled "Half a Century of the Body of Benchers: The Past, the Present, and the Future, Maintaining the Ethics of the Legal Profession in Nigeria." And they highlighted key issues. One of them is the uniquely the position to lead the charge in this regards given to lawyers by the CJN, and the responsibility of upholding the legal profession's sanctity rests, according to her, heavily on the shoulders of lawyers. And she says that she has no doubt that the body of benchers, as a regulatory body of the profession and our ethics, would ensure that all of this are upheld. Also, in the same vein, giving the inaugural lecture, the former governor of Lagos State and the senior advocate of Nigeria, Babatunde Raji Fashola, spoke passionately about the state of legal education in Nigeria. He criticized the one-year law school training that is not sufficient enough to expose lawyers to the courtroom environment. He says that it is not just okay that we are learning the profession from classrooms. It is important that they also learn from the courtroom. He said it's a poor quality lawyer the level of poor quality lawyers that we see can, attest to that. He said law teachers, prosecutors, judge and legal advisors and all of those positions should be studied. It's not something you just learn off the books.
All right, let's go on a very short break now. When we come back, we continue with our review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
TVC Communications, Nigeria's leading independent broadcast company, has been officially designated as a great place to work. Over the past 3 years, we have transformed our workplace into one which is respectful, caring, rewarding, and provides great benefits to all our 500 employees. We thank our team for giving us the chance to show that partnership between employer and employee really works. TVC Communications, officially designated as a great place to work, and now the only broadcasting and media company, not just in Nigeria, but throughout continental Africa, to be fully certified. TVC Communications, a great Nigerian company, a great Nigerian place to work.
Do you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Welcome to Pure Entertainment. What would you like to order from our menu today? We have the regular.
So let me go and look for my jam results. So
My 280 was 320. I suppose don't be one.
Thanks for staying with us. We're still reviewing Punch.
Yes, so the House of Representatives yesterday passed through second reading a bill seeking the retention of immunity for the office of the president and the removal of immunity from the vice president, governors, and deputy governor. The bill was one of the 42 considered and passed through the second reading during plenary presided over by the Deputy Speaker, Mr. Benjamin Kalu in Abuja. And it was sponsored by lawmaker from Rivers State, Solomon Bob. The bill is seeking to the amendment of Section 308 of the 1999 Constitution to guard against abuse of office and to ensure transparency in governance. So the long title of the proposed legislation read, A Bill for an Act to Alter the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 to qualify the immunity conferred on the President, remove the immunity conferred on the Vice President, the governors, and other deputies in order to curb corruption, eradicate impunity, and enhance accountability in public office and for related matters as well. So they said the key amendment include changes to the 308 of the Constitution, which currently grants immunity to the President, Vice President, governors, and deputy governors while in office. Now, this bill will remove all the immunity. I'm wondering how the bill was able to pass to second reading. Normally, that kind of thing would have been kicked out from.
How would you know that? You see, because you always assume the worst of your people.
I'm happy that I passed second reading. I just hope that
it's also important that
Nigerians are so cynical. The lawmakers are working for you.
We're seeing it now. I was shocked.
If you want to remove immunity from the vice president, if the president gets impeached, you did not see that the constitution was taking care of itself, providing immunity for the offices that were going to back up.
That's why there's still going to be a hearing.
No, who even brought the bill?
The
person said, you know, go rest.
Who brought the bill? Are you sure it wasn't a former governor? Because he has forgotten that he enjoyed immunity.
Which side are you on now?
Nigerians.
Which side are you on?
I don't know what you guys want. Thank God I'm not a leader. Honestly, I can never lead this country because you people, you don't know what you want. Please, let's move on to the next story.
I want to take the traffic flood on Ibadan Express Road. They said that the small rain, very small light rain that fell, the whole peak area flooded, that there was traffic, and it's as if when they were doing the road, they didn't do the drainage. When they reached out to Julius Berger, they didn't carry phone, so they don't know. So they are just saying it now because when rainy season starts, Senator will come impeach. They will give Julius Berger immunity. How they won't do it.
Anyway, talking about the laws.
Senate answer also. See you.
Julius
Berger is a private company. They should report to their local
Nigerians too don't throw dustbin for gutter. What I saw last week broke my heart.
Yes, now.
I saw somebody putting the waste, poured the waste, swept it to the road, and then you stick to be
same Nigerians
into our new road
drainage.
When you saw it, what did you do?
Confronting now.
That is the way to go.
Go for don't confront.
Want them to beat out.
Those hoodlums.
Somebody listen. Somebody will say you provoke them and go and slap you.
Even when you are talking to them, they look at you and hiss.
Don't confront. So please just mind your business.
So I have videos.
Okay, go and lead the confrontation first.
If I see someone doing it, like when I catch them pooping on that by that canal, I stop them. Me. I will stop you.
Because they're also elderly. They will look at you and like,
they still want
I have 4 children. When no one slap me, we can cross to the other side of you. Moving on now. So talking about House of Reps, on Wednesday, they passed for a second reading a bill seeking to recognize the 37 local development area councils of Lagos State as full-fledged local government areas. If this proposal scales the legislative hurdle, Lagos, which currently has 20 local governments, will now have 57 local governments, pushing the total number to from 774 across the nation to 811. If you recall, the president, while he was governor, created the LCDAs because he felt that 20 was not enough to cover the infrastructure and development across the state. So he created those local LCDAs, although it was illegal at the time, and that was the issue he had with the president Tinubu and Obasanjo at the time. But now, I guess he was one of the lawmakers that from Lagos State that raised this bill, and we'll see how that goes because it will be quite interesting that our mayoress is likely to now become a full-fledged local government chairman.
That would be amazing.
So that would be welcome. The population requires, more.
Any other story in Punch? Let's move on quickly now to Daily Sun. Oh, there's no Daily Sun here. Okay, Vanguard. INEC Tinubu shops for Yakubu's replacement. Rivers Sole administrator suspends all political appointees. I think you took that story already. Reps approve bill to enlist 37 of the LCDS. I took that story. Recall, INEC notifies Akpoti Oduahan and Akpabio of the recall. Falanos fraud case against Zynox, others thrown out. Reps move to strip VP, governors, deputy governors of their immunity, and senators differ over calls to immortalize Humphrey Nwosu, who has...
Okay, I have the Humphrey Nwosu story. So small drama broke at the Senate yesterday when Senator Abaribe tried to, move an order, and he says he was coming under orders 4152 of the Senate standing orders, and then later he added order 42. This is, of course, he says would allow for personal explanation for the motion, which he wanted to do. And then the Deputy Senate President, who was presiding over plenary yesterday, refused it, saying that the order he was trying to move was controversial, and he felt that he expressed a bit of skepticism, and later allowed Senator Abaribe to move this order. But the majority leader of the Senate leader, Senator Okoyemi Bamidele, contended that the order raised by Abaribe was inappropriate, adding that the plenary has gone far before he came in and that he would not be allowed to enjoy that privilege. And so the small argument back and forth. This order Senator Abaribe was trying to move was to immortalize the late Professor Humphrey Nwosu, who was the chairman of the defunct National Electoral Commission that oversaw the June 1992 elections won by MK Abiola. And he wanted to build a foundation to why this was important, but because of that, wahala scatter for House yesterday. But according to, I can't remember the senator's name, they are looking to do that today, hopefully.
The quarrel gone. Mm-hmm. The quarrel, I was watching it. If it was Senator Natasha now, she don't get
likes.
Suspension.
Yeah, you're taking a story?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, so the Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, has raised concerns over the incarceration of over 26,000 children in the nation's custodial centers, describing the situation as alarming. So according to him, he said the figure accounts for 30% of total inmate population in correctional facilities across the country. Tunji-Ojo also called for urgent reforms in Nigeria's criminal justice system to protect vulnerable groups, and he spoke at an interagency stakeholders meeting in Abuja yesterday. So a statement by the Director of Press at the Ministry of Interior, Ozoya Imohimi, he quoted the minister saying that approximately 26,000 children are held in correctional facilities annually, representing over 30% of the total inmate population. He said the statistics raises concerns regarding child protection laws. The presence of children in custodial centers violates existing laws mandating their placements in postal institutions for proper reformation in line with their age. So he is assuring that breaches of the laws will be investigated, warning that institutions failing to comply will face consequences. I'm also worried because I don't know if we have enough child correctional centers in the country to be able to put those children. So before you start finding people who are putting children in the jails for adults, do we have enough correctional centers?
We have enough.
We have them. So why are they not using them?
But they are also very full. But the inadequacies of the system is such that sometimes, because of age arguments, some kids end up because of their body build in the adult custodial center.
Did you take your story?
What's my story?
Your sports story.
No, it's not my sports story. This one is Wiki and Atiku.
Yeah, give us.
What happened to Wiki and Atiku?
Give us.
You know, I just got back. I don't know what's going on in your country.
Not your fault.
I've been traveling. Go, do
I just got back.
Can you imagine?
So what happened to Wiki again?
His media aide, Mr. Larry Olayinka, has vowed that his principal will frustrate former Vice President Atiku Abubakar in his 2027 presidential bid.
Is he still going to bid again?
I don't understand why they're talking to
He hasn't said he's going to bid, but apparently he had given an interview when they asked him if he has regrets for not choosing
He said no.
He said no.
They don't have regrets.
He said they gave him a list. They gave him list.
We have to go.
Okowa was first, Wike was second, and Dakawu was the third. I can't remember the third one. So he took the first one, Okowa, so he has no regrets. So that one says, he has insisted that Wike played a role in Atiku's defeat in 2023 and will ensure he fails again in 2027. Please tell our serial presidential contestant
we have to go.
that Wike has.
That's why I said it. Don't look for. God will help you not to look for Wike's trouble.
Okay, just step out of that trouble. Don't enter Wike's trouble.
That interview was lengthy. He still went to Afakpa.
Let us go on a break. When we come back,
went for
we'll move on with the show. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
It's not me.
Stubborn ladies. They don't listen.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
I am the businessman I am today because I scoured the world to find that feeling my clients want to wear. This country makes it its business to inspire at every moment. Here, there's a feeling that can only be South Africa. So come touch, taste, and live South Africa. There's so much more to see.
The holy month of Ramadan is right around the corner, and as we prepare for the blessed month, we know that expectations are different for everyone during Ramadan season.
TVC Communications, Nigeria's leading independent broadcast company, has been officially designated as a great place to work. Over the past 3 years, we have transformed our workplace into one which is respectful, caring, rewarding, and provides great benefits to all our 500 employees. We thank our team for giving us the chance to show that partnership between employer and employee really works. TVC Communications, officially designated as a great place to work, and now the only broadcasting and media company, not just in Nigeria, but throughout continental Africa, to be fully certified. TVC Communications, a great Nigerian company, a great Nigerian place to work.
Do you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Welcome to Pure Entertainment. What would you like to order from our menu today? We have the regulars.
So let me go and look for my jam results. So
My 280 was 320. I suppose don't be one medical.
At this point, I contest my jam results.
I want to close the show.
I can go. I can.
That's all we can take. Ejeki, close the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, number 1 unavailable by Davido featuring Musa Keys.
We also have today's chef special.
Yo, shine, 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 shiny, yeah. Say recap done, and it's time for number 1 on the countdown. One of Nigeria's hottest artists right now, his name is Rema, and this one is called Charm. Kick it.
Another.
Thanks for staying with us in this segment, still in line with the International Women's Month and how women are making game-changing strides in the society, their homes, workplace, and other areas. We will each be talking about game-changing stories that have shaped our lives. Our viewers also will be winning prizes on this segment. So the very first person to call in during this segment to share a game-changing story will be winning a goodie bag from Maggie. Ooh. And also the very first person to tweet to at TVC Connect using the hashtag #YourViewOnTVC and hashtag Maggie in Nigeria will also be winning a goodie bag from Maggie. So call us on the numbers on your screen: 020-163-52013, 090-241-63440. I'd love to have you be the very first caller so you can win a goodie bag from Maggie. But first, let me ask the ladies, share a bit of your game-changing stories in just generally society, life, food, the whole works.
So, for a very long time, I didn't do any sort of skincare because I grew up as a tomboy. I was raised in the midst of 3 boys. I was the only girl, so I didn't learn some things on time. But I got to a point in my life where I now started paying attention to what I put in my body, through my mouth, and what I put on my skin, which led me into creating my product, my banana product. And now I've moved it up further to a point where I can go out effortlessly without makeup on my face like I am today. It's my birthday and everybody was expecting at least put some makeup. I'm like, I'm glowing. This is game changing for me. Now I pay attention to what goes into my body. And why did I start that? Because I realized that a lot of the products we have out there have chemicals in them, right? So people are manufacturing products, making it very affordable, but then they are laced with chemicals. And you're just putting, everything on your body, just putting it on your body. You don't know, a few years' time, you are coming down with issues, diseases, cancer, and all of that. There's a lot of research on what we should put into our body. So I take care of my body, what I eat. I'm always taking lemons, I'm taking fruits, I'm taking healthy ingredients into my body. And what I apply on my body, I pay special attention. So now you can invite me for an event and I'll come without makeup on my face and I will glow like I am glowing. This is my game-changing story.
Okay, girl, you prepared for this. Well done. Well done. All right, Nima, what's your game-changing story? Okay. We're waiting for our first caller. Please call in because
yes,
it's very good. There's a goodie bag.
Gift for our game-changing story. So my game-changing story, because my photos are backing up and showing me what I did in 2020. When Zip fell ill with COVID.
Okay, let me pause you. We have Rahimat, first caller from Lagos. Rahimat, you're the very first caller and you're winning a goodie bag from Maggie. Tell us a bit about but just be an interesting game changer story. Rahimat, go ahead.
Don't cut.
Oh, yes, we lost it. Oh, I'm so sorry.
But she's still first caller.
But should we call her back? We can try to call her back. Maybe the cut went off. Please, let's try producers to call her back. Yeah.
So I remember that we were locked up at home and it seemed everything was boring. I'd seen death pass through my eyes when he stopped breathing for a few hours or a few seconds that night. Just breathing was short. I kept trying to do whatever I could do. Nothing could help us. They didn't give us a manual. We didn't prepare for this. No, I was just doing garlic and pepper and turmeric and all of those herbal products I have at home and a lot of black seed oil. But what was game-changing for me was the number of soups I started cooking when we were recovering, and the pictures were showing. I saw my groundnut soup, my efori roll, everything I was doing at the time to make things work. A lot of cow leg, So I can really cook. That's my game-changing story. Okay. It changed everything for us in the house.
Nice, yes, very nice. Let's monitor who's hashtagging first.
Yeah.
Who sent the first message?
I'm on Twitter. Nobody has.
Let's see. The first person to post on at TVC Connect and also hashtag Maggie in Nigeria and your view on TVC.
They're supposed to tell you a game-changing story when they tweet.
Yes.
Only one person has tweeted.
So I have Efe. Good morning, Efe. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Good morning.
Yay! I think you're going to be our first call because we couldn't reach Rahimat again. Efe, go ahead, please. Share with us.
Okay, from Ujodu Bega.
Okay.
Okay, my game changer story is happened just a few years ago when I had a connection with a colleague.
I need some volume. I can't hear you.
At 11. Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Yes, I can hear you, but
okay, so what happened was that I was just called and asked if I could do a job. I never knew anything about the job. It was a link from UK, and I just said I could do it. You know, I hadn't gotten the job. I just said I could do it. And then I was handed over the job to do a write-up for someone. And when I got the write-up, I got the questions. It was like 2-page questions. I actually didn't understand anything in the question, but I just said I could do it. You know what? They offered to pay me a huge amount of money. I accepted, and I just started.
Whoa!
And somehow I was able to do it. And up till today, years have gone by. I'm still doing that for so many people, and that has been a game changer for me.
Oh, amazing!
Fantastic.
Okay, so we have our first tweet from Wakishi.
Please can grab it so that we can.
Fumi Odumos. So hers came a minute before Lambo versus Lambo.
Okay.
Hashtagging Maggie in Nigeria and wishing the ladies happy Women's Month.
But she did not share.
They didn't share.
They need to share a game changing story.
Okay, so you guys, you need to share. I think they thought.
Okay, what's your own game changing story?
My game changing, everybody knows it, was after my father died. I decided to host a festival on
celebration.
Behalf of my father. Called it Celebration. Today it's over 25 years on. We're still there. We're still game changing.
Nice. And you've gone global.
Yes,
so
yes.
global.
Yeah, amazing.
We've gone, you know, it hosts in more than one location in Lagos in October. It makes October. In fact, when we started, you know, the tickets to come to Nigeria are very cheap in October. But after a lot of people started coming into Nigeria for celebration, the tickets went up. Flight tickets, you know. So we
became an international festival.
We had made an impact for tickets to change the price of tickets to become more expensive in October. We knew that.
Fantastic. Well done, YK,
because when we
and the entire
started,
team.
the tickets were not. So when we had to bring people in, hey, we started to hear it.
But well done, fantastic.
That's my game-changing story.
Fantastic. My own, I'm trying to rack my head, but I think the one that pops up is many years ago when I was totally jobless, didn't have nothing. I was out of work, no job, and somebody offered me to work in a production. I think it was Ultimate Search, either Good Ultimate Search or one of those major reality shows. So I was one of the assistant producers there. And I was away for 3 months doing that production. And after that, I came back and my salary was 420,000 naira. For somebody who has not worked for so long, for a year and a half, and I got that money and God says, sew it. Man, it was a difficult sewing to sew. My mother was like, hey, are you sure you heard? I said, I heard. So I carried everything, like just for 3 months, and I sewed it. And then after that,
that was game changing
because after that I got the job from High TV, then TVC came and God just opened doors for me, and I'm grateful. So for me, it was trust me, it was a very one of those straight faiths that you have to put it, and I'm grateful to God that actually was a game changer. So we have our winners from our phone calls, and we have our winner online. We'll reach out to you to give you your Maggie giveaways, and so we're going to
shared on
a game changing story.
AY for You Digital Market says, good morning, ladies. I started barbing my hair myself when I tried using a clipper for the first time, and for 6 months in school, and I didn't go to the barber shop. Hashtag Maggie in Nigeria.
Fantastic. That's our winner. Please screen grab it so we can reach out to him. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Okay, let's go on a very short break now. We come back. We continue with the show.
People have put their game-changing stories. I think we should now be changing it to 5 people at least.
We'll head back after the break. Stay with us. Don't go anywhere.
Stay tuned. Your view.
TVC Communications, Nigeria's leading independent broadcast company, has been officially designated as a great place to work. Over the past 3 years, we have transformed our workplace into one which is respectful, caring, rewarding, and provides great benefits to all our 500 employees. We thank our team for giving us the chance to show that partnership between employer and employee really works. TVC Communications, officially designated as a great place to work, Now, the only broadcasting and media company, not just in Nigeria, but throughout continental Africa, to be fully certified. TVC Communications, a great Nigerian company, a great Nigerian place to work.
Do you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Welcome to Pure Entertainment. What would you like to order from our menu today? We have the regulars.
So let me go and look for my jam results.
My 280 was 320. I suppose don't be one medical.
At this point, I contest my jam results.
I want to close the show.
I can go. I can.
Okay, that's all we can take.
I choose to
Ejeki, close the show. Give for that long.
Ladies and gentlemen, number 1 unavailable by Davido featuring Musa Keys.
We also have today's chef special.
Yo, shine, 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 shiny, yeah. Say recap done, and it's time for number 1 on the countdown. One of Nigeria's hottest artists right now, his name is Rema, and this one is called Charm. Kick it.
Another.
For dessert and a bit of nightcap, we have the nighttime and online specials.
I want to start the gym, yeah? But do you know one thing that's actually keeping me back? You should start the gym to get fat. Cricket.
She says she does pole dancing to empower women.
What's the difference? There's a difference.
That's what I'm saying.
So pole dancer, you're already almost naked. You're already almost naked.
It's the empowerment for me.
Sex can make your relationship better.
No.
Sex can never be overrated.
It is needed.
Especially when it's good sex too. Almost every guy has been with somebody's girlfriend.
But they are for all of us now.
That's why you're still single.
I would not agree or disagree with that because I don't want to get into trouble. I have a home to go to.
Your next question.
Oh, you ready to fail?
Who is the person that used to sus? What is his name?
That woman.
Bam! Bam!
Today we'll go here.
Hey.
Let's catch up.
I'm sure we've been able to satisfy your cravings, yeah? Stay good. Entertainment for Pure Entertainment.
Now you can catch up with your favorite programs on TVC. Log on to
Hey, welcome back. So joining us to discuss how it takes a village, meaning lots of women thrive through mentorship and community, is the founder of Defining Women's Lifestyle, DWL Fashion, Ivie Osula, and the CEO founder of Posh Click Photography, Jokotade Shono. Welcome to the show, ladies.
Thanks for having us.
Good to have, you guys look amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I mean, fashion girly.
Yes, so I can see that. So let me start with you, Evie. Your brand, DWL, is all about positioning women to feel confident through their lifestyle and fashion. So tell us exactly how you think style influences a woman's mindset and success.
Oh, I can write a book about that. I mean, that's how I got into fashion myself. Being a fashion girl at work, wearing 5-inch heels, pencil dresses, dressing like Oliver Pope to work, and then colleagues said, okay, fill us in, and then the brand was birthed. So I know that saying, dress the way you want to be addressed is very important. And I would always choose personal style, elevated personal style over trends. And that's where DWL comes in.
I like that, elevated personal style over trends.
Yeah.
Why are we elevating
I gotta write that down.
Why the elevation?
Because
you have to improve your personal
walk
style.
into a room and take up space. And let it start from how you even look. Then coupled with the fact that you're now smart. I mean, that's, you know, so that's one of the things that DWL pushes. It's not just dressing women in suits. We do tailored suits, but it's about the fact that we want to empower women to show up every day in elevation versions of themselves through the power of dressing. I mean, that's what we do. And then I always ensure that when I work with women, both as a wardrobe consultant, we ensure that you know your style, or we help you find your style and then dress in ways exactly.
Fantastic.
Amazing.
You see?
Yeah, so let me come to Posh Click. And you are into photography. It's a male-dominated industry.
Yeah.
And sometimes a lot of women who find themselves in male-dominated industries have this imposter syndrome where they are thinking, am I good enough? Would they like my work? Would they come and buy? What do you think has set you apart, and how has mentorship, if you had any, helped you grow your business?
Okay, thank you so much for that question. I think this is about the umpteenth time. I'll be answering that question, and I'll answer it differently today. So while as Jokotade, I'm a person, I am driven, right? So when I have a goal to reach, I don't see myself as a woman. So I'm either going for it like a man or just like a normal person.
Right.
So first thing is, I don't see myself as a woman, and so I don't see challenges. I only see goals that need to be achieved, and I go for it. But second thing I'll talk about is the feminine edge. As women, we have natural traits, that make us stand out. We have attention to detail. We are nurturing. We are able to connect deeply with people.
Yes.
So I use all of these innate womanly tendencies, to connect with my clients, see them as they are. I'm a woman, a plus-size woman, for that matter. So when a plus-size lady comes to me, I understand your struggles. You don't need to say too much. I know the things I need to hide. I know the curves I need to showcase.
You know the right poses.
Exactly. So you see, that's my superpower, right? So just bring yourself to me, plain as you are, and just hand over yourself, and you can be sure that you work out, regaining your confidence, finding a different side to yourself, than you've ever seen.
Let me stay with you for a second, because I know mentorship is part of the question she asked. How has mentorship helped your business?
Mentorship has been the bedrock of photography for me, because in coming into photography, I've met so many people along the line, women, men, but I'll touch more on the women. One, I would say, is Mrs. Des. I've been talking a lot about her lately, and, the role she's played in my life, mentoring me through, even teaching me new things, supporting me, showing me what my true value is, paying me more than I thought I deserved at the time, connecting me with other women, who have also formed the Posh Click family, right? And then, so I'd also say my mentor, T.Y. Bello, who also allowed me come into her space, allowed me see what it looks like, going for a portrait session. And it was at that time that I thought, okay, you know what? I think I found what I'm going to do, and I'm going to stay here. So I'm doing this because she did.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
So, my question is for Evie. So as an entrepreneur, what has been your biggest challenge, and how did mentorship help you?
My story into entrepreneurship is not the average. You go to fashion school, you learn this, you did that. I have a 14-year career in finance. Yeah, I was doing fashion on the side, like I said, and then from the colleagues saying, make something for me, I think I can do that. My first order was, I'm going to a conference in Paris. I want to walk into the room and look at Oliver Pope. And I said I can do it, and I didn't know how to make the suit she wanted. But I went first run, second run, and by the time, I was ready. She came back from the situation like, Ivie, I walked into the room and I took up space. Everybody wanted to. And then that's when I realized, hey, come on. This is not just you dress well, you dress people well. And that's how it started. So you can imagine that I didn't learn the ropes of you do this, you do that. I had a finance background so I could do my books, but that's not all you need. There's marketing, there's all that. So I had to learn these ropes the non-traditional way. But to the question, and now I've gotten it right. This is 8 years in the game, so I've gotten it right. The question about the biggest issues, it will be labor. I mean, labor in Nigeria and everywhere in the world, but here in Nigeria is daunting. I live in Qatar. I shuttle between Qatar and Nigeria, so I see what I struggle with. The difference in Nigeria, I struggle with mediocrity, with artisans. But my longest staff has been with me for 8 years now. So we've seen the transition from arguing with them back and forth. I won't settle, to now when I even bring in new staff, he tells them, Madam, no go settle. She wants to. So I would say it's labor, yes, high turnover, craftsmanship, dealing with artisans. But when you continue to do these things, and then I've learned to train my staff, I had to even change strategy at a time to say, okay, it's a suiting brand. I like to employ women. Not a lot of women go into suiting, like even from an artisan standpoint. I've had to learn to get them at a certain level, train them up to, and it's working for me now. So the challenges will be there every day. There's also access to funding, but I have been lucky, I live in Qatar, I've had access to, funding for my business, grants, investments, but in Nigeria, it's still, much of a problem. So between funding and artisan, I know I will not die, but one day at a time.
You made this suit.
Of course, I made it. 90% of what I wear, I make.
She made a really nice piece for me too. Also, and it's beautiful. I've not launched it yet, but it's gorgeous. I can't wait to launch it.
Yes.
But talking about fashion, staying on you for a minute. Talking about fashion, the trends change so fast. So how do you juggle creativity and business strategy? How do you stay creative and still run a business?
First of all, I think you had this conversation with someone yesterday. How can you say you're a suiting brand? You cannot make a show for me. You cannot do this. I am niched in suiting for women. Yes, niched in suiting for women. So I've learned the art of staying true to what my creative superpower is, which is making fire blazers, making fire suits from corporate to occasion wear to casual, and we stayed on that. So, and I also tell people, like I said, I do trends. We all do trends once in a while, but let the trends complement your personal style. Let trend complement who. Authenticity is very important. Your wardrobe. I believe a lot in sustainable fashion, and it's not just about the kind of materials. Buy clothes that you can use, repurpose, refunction. Reuse. That's the real superpower. Knowing that it's your style, you are buying this thing because I have 3 things in my wardrobe that will complement it. Exactly. So I would always pick personal style with a little bit of trend.
So let me come to Posh Click. Your work is centered around capturing those timeless moments, right? How do you balance it out with what the client wants most of the time, and also how you want to project your work to the world? Let me give you an instance. So there are some clients that come with an idea of what they have in their head. I want to look this way, I want to look that way. And you look at their frame, and you know that this way, that way that you want to look, you see one that will not work for you, right? So how do you ensure that you are able to still, make it right for the clients, but also get that authenticity from your work that you want?
So what you just, question you just asked me now has happened one too many times. And my solution to that has been creating for them, because without them, our doors will not be open, right? So I create for them, and then I create for myself. There's also something else. We do a bit of consultation before the shoot. So where I get to know the things you like, I also get to know the things that suit you. So based on that, I would then know, how to photograph them. But most importantly, because I tend to connect with my clients, they trust me through and through. So when they share their ideas with me, I let them know, I don't think this would work. And sometimes they agree. But if they don't agree, I shoot for them, and then I also shoot for myself because my name is on the line.
Yeah. Do you show them? Do they compare your own and their own?
Most times they go with mine.
You know, I had that with T.Y. Bailey, and I wanted simple.
Yeah.
As usual. She's like, this is your face. Like, there's something I can achieve. Yeah. She achieved it though, but I never posted it. Only me and my husband have seen that picture.
Are you serious?
There's this really sexy thing she did with the thing of, and I'm like, this one cannot go out.
Because we see beyond.
But it's beautiful. I agree. I liked it, but like, this ain't going out.
It's risky.
It's so risky.
Not your bad. Borrow me the picture. Let me post.
Why can't let me come to you? Any questions?
Oh,
how you did?
Oh, please go on.
Sorry. But really, so let's. Okay, Mike, you want to go?
No.
So Evie, let me come back to you, Evie.
Okay.
I know right now there are lots of young people who want to get into fashion. They see you, they're thinking, I'd love to be an AVA. How do you think, what kind of advice would you tell young people, how they get into the industry? Because right now, everybody just does everything. And the same question to you too, because everybody wants to do photography, is a big thing. Everybody says we want to do photography, but how do you start? What can I do to start?
First of all, I run on competence. You must be competent.
Know your craft.
There's a glitz, there's a glam, there's this, but you must know your onions. So the good days, the bad days, because sometimes it'll be bad. Sometimes you meet some client, when you're done, you have to remind yourself that I'm not a shitty fashion designer. This one just didn't work out. You know, but that's because I have done this time and time again, that one experience cannot invalidate 100 other experiences of women.
I love that.
I see women who buy the outfits, go and still send me a note and say thank you for how you made me look, how you made me.
Step 3. Stand a chance to win. From tricycles and motorcycles to cash prizes and a grand prize of 5 million naira. To open an account, download the Union mobile app or visit www.unionbankng.com. Terms and conditions apply. Union Bank, your simpler, smarter bank.
TVC Communications, Nigeria's leading independent broadcast company, has been officially designated as a great place to work. Over the past 3 years, we have transformed our workplace into one which is respectful, caring, rewarding, and provides great benefits to all our 500 employees. We thank our team for giving us the chance to show that partnership between employer and employee really works. TVC Communications, officially designated as a great place to work, and now the only broadcasting and media company, not just in Nigeria, but throughout continental Africa, to be fully certified. TVC Communications, a great Nigerian company, a great Nigerian place to work.
Do you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Welcome back. So we still have our guests in the studio because there was something important we didn't talk about. That's the In My Corner campaign, which you guys are working on. It's an initiative you're working on. Please tell us about that. It's important.
Okay, In My Corner campaign is an initiative, started by Joko, and she brought me on board to collaborate with her. It basically speaks to women communities, women supporting women, and amplifying the friendships that women share, the connections that women share. I mean, there's this narrative that women don't support women.
Yeah.
Joko and I, meeting in 2001, bonded over the fact that my journey has been, paved for me by women, from my finance to fashion. Joko also shares same sentiments from her childhood to, her career. And sometimes she told me about an initiative she was working on. She had done a test run. And when she told me, I was like, why haven't you gone with it? She's a perfectionist, I'm a doer. And then once I saw it, I was like, nah, we need to run with it. And basically, it spotlights relationships with women. It could be friends, it could be colleagues, it could be sisters who have chosen to be friends, it could be industry competitors who have chosen to be friends. Any relationship between women that is sweet, that has longevity, that has memories, that has content. We want to spotlight these women and then share their stories, amplify their stories with the world. That's basically what they...
I love it.
So that
we qualify now.
Of course.
12 years old this year.
Whoa. Next year, you guys must be on In My Corner.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Tell us more about it, Joko.
So In My Corner, came from a place of introspection, like she said, and beyond just, doing photography and running a business, we wanted to make impact, and also shed more light on how people who truly crave for authentic connections and friendship, female friendships, can go about it. So the stories on In My Corner campaign are stories, that you would listen to and you would learn how to go about, nurturing solid female connections, friendships, and alliances.
So do you think you should go and tell the women in the Senate that didn't support Natasha?
Yes, they should actually watch some of the episodes of My Corner campaign and show them how it's done.
So is it a YouTube page or is it a conference? What exactly is it? The campaign, what does it entail?
So they get dressed in DWL. We do a shoot for them, and then we also get them to sit down to talk about their friendship. Yes.
And then we amplify it on media.
I think I've seen something like that.
Yes,
this year is going to be louder.
For the first one, we had Ifedro Simieti and O.M. Ogiafo, a mentor-mentee relationship. We had Eniola Edu and Simbola Torego and many others.
Yes. Well, the good initiatives.
Thank you.
You guys collaborate together.
Yes.
Wishing you the best. Let us know when you're ready so that
go to the Senate.
we can amplify.
We will go to the Senate. They should learn one or two things about women supporting women.
Yes. It's very important because it actually does exist, but people always, the negativity is louder than.
So we want to amplify the good stories.
That's all we can now take on this
segment.
Thank you
very much. Thank you for having us.
Short break. When we come back to bring in our next guest. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Life is full of stress. But with InDrive, you can set a price for your ride. Choose a top-rated driver and fill your life with gladness and serenity during the ride. InDrive. Choose a fair price for your ride. Because life is more than daily stress.
TVC Communications, Nigeria's leading independent broadcast company, has been officially designated as a great place to work. Over the past 3 years, we have transformed our workplace into one which is respectful, caring, rewarding, and provides great benefits to all our 500 employees. We thank our team for giving us the chance to show that partnership between employer and employee really works. TVC Communications, officially designated as a great place to work, and now the only broadcasting and media company not just in Nigeria but throughout continental Africa to be fully certified. TVC Communications, a great Nigerian company, a great Nigerian place to work.
you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Welcome to Pure Entertainment. What would you like to order from our menu today?
Thanks for staying with us. So, this segment, we're going to be discussing a topic related to women, empowerment, expression, and thoughts, especially in light of all that's been happening. So, in light of the alleged sexual harassment scandal that has characterized the Nigerian Senate in the last few weeks, we want to discuss the plight of Nigerian women as regards to leadership, public conduct, and most especially their perceptions and dealings with interaction with the male counterparts. Joining us to shed more light and help us thoroughly understand how women relate, especially in this 21st century, how we relate with men. To discussing this is the clergyman, life coach, leadership expert, Mr. or Dr. Olumide Emmanuel. Welcome to the show. Today you're not here to sell market, you're here to come and gist with us.
Yes,
because we want to
happy birthday, BC, happy birthday.
Because we want to tap into a bit of your knowledge, you know, because there's a lot that's been happening, and later on we'll discuss finance for women, because that's also important. It's International Women's Month, and it's important for us to touch on that. But first, a lot has happened, and I think on your view, we have kind of carefully not really talked much about it, because there's a lot to unpack. You know, the outburst out there. Even recently, or 2 days ago, Dr. Obiase Kwesili was lashed out by this senator. I mean, she had told him to shut up, but then he went overboard in his response to her. So there's so much going on out there. Women are saying, can we really? Is there a proper conduct for women out there, or can men understand that things are different? We will confront you, and we expect you to talk to us as an equal counterpart, not as the lower vessel or the weaker vessel. Things are changing. Please help us shed a bit of light.
Ooh, it is well. Well, thanks for having me again. And let me say a few things just as a foundation. Number one, we all generalize consciously or unconsciously in different aspects. So whatever is being said, let us acknowledge the fact that there are exceptions to them, so that while we're discussing, we know that there are some exceptions, so that we will not be taking to say, oh, he said this, she said that. There are exceptions. Number two, we also need to realize that there are people that are not at the level of exposure and enlightenment that we are in. So while you are on TV, you're on radio, you read the news, you're on social media, there are people that have no clue. All these things you are trying to get that are okay with it, they are satisfied. And when you are trying to say you want, they're like, what is your problem? Are you not okay with the way things are? So we also need to acknowledge that there are people like that, so that we know that no matter what we say, no matter what we push out there, there will always be people that don't agree with that. That being said, we need to understand that we live in a patriarchal society. And for many people that are presently adults, they didn't know better. We're all brought up seeing the society through the lenses of our upbringing, our backgrounds, and our experiences. And then it takes you to now be conscious and aware of the fact that this is not okay, for you to now begin to make adjustments. Because as a man, when we're being brought up, there were things that we were trained with and told that we believe was okay, because that's what we saw. But it is now growing up and realize that, this is not okay. This doesn't feel right. This doesn't look right. For some of us to now begin to say, I'm going to make adjustment. I'm going to change. And that's the reality we need to face. So when it comes to women, a lot of us grew up in families where our fathers were African men. I'm in charge, I'm in control. And they make us, even in the church, in our upbringing, they make us believe that this is your brother cannot enter the kitchen, you go and cook for your brother, you make sure you have money to take care of your woman. So all those things affect us. So by the time we now grow up, it takes an intentional readjustment for us to be able to now get to a point where you are talking, a woman is talking. If you grow up believing that a woman is less than you, it will be difficult for you to see a woman talk and you're like, excuse me, why are you talking? Because there are things that men will do that will be okay. But once a woman does it, it becomes a problem. Just because of the software running the men.
software.
And that's we just need to all, yeah.
What happened between Obi Ezekwesili and the senator?
Oh boy. Oh boy.
She's, I think, from the look of it, he's at most 50 something. She's a 70-year-old grandmother. So I think she told him, from the story I heard, she said the chairman was talking and he was talking. So she said, shut up. Because they had told her to keep quiet, but he continued to talk. So she now said, you shut up. Now he now turned on her and unleashed venom. Venom. She's a woman. An older woman, a much older woman. But he went on her as if they were age mates. In fact, that she was his subordinate because she was a woman or because she was disrespectful. Because even if they didn't teach you at home, society will teach you that there are some things you shouldn't do.
Yeah.
What would you say in that kind of situation?
Okay, so if we look at that situation, I've had to listen to both of them because of that. To say,
I've listened to both of them.
What happened? Because Obi is my sister. She's a fellow pastor, so we're ministers. So I'm like, this is not the person we know. What's happening here? So I had to go and check, and I listened to her version, not social. She said it by herself. And when I saw what she said, I'm like, okay, now I understand why this is happening, because she told the guy, please shut up, because we have told not to speak, that there's something prejudicial. So please shut up. So when you say that, listen and listen well, not every woman will say that. The only reason why Obi could tell him to shut up was because of her level of exposure, her level of self-awareness. A normal woman will not tell a man to shut up. So that's understanding, and the man is like, hello, he's like that African man. He's like, you wake up. So at that point, the animalistic behavior came out. So it's not about your age or whatever, because look, we've seen even men. These people are fought, carrying chairs, carrying everything. Sometimes we put people on a pedestal they are not qualified for. Just because somebody is in a house and they claim to have been elected does not mean that they are normal people. Does not mean they are okay. Many of these guys have mental health issues. Many of these people have traumas. They have issues that it now comes out when they are triggered. And that's what we saw there. So, and like I've always said, 2 wrongs does not make it right. So whether she was right to have said shut up or not, I was not there. I don't know the atmosphere, but she said she told him to shut up.
There was a language
Yes, she did. I watched her too.
He used the language of, I'm a senator and you are not, and you cannot, that's why you are not. And we've seen this trajectory of constituted authority from Oyo when the students had this clash at the time. When you are an elected office holder, does it give you some form of superiority over society, such that your office must first be recognized? Now, in this case in question, they were both witnesses to the opposing side. He was a witness for Natasha. He was a witness for the Senate President. And at this point, does their office or whatever office does it hold them?
It's perception. I listened to him and he's saying that I am a senator. She's not, so she should respect my office, and that's part of the problem.
His office was not.
You are not there. You are there as witness. So you see, that's why we talk about understanding leadership. In this part of the world, we don't understand leadership. We understand rulership. Because we have traditional rulers, political rulers. You see, when you see yourself as a leader only based on the fact that you hold a position, that is the lowest elementary level of leadership. And that's what he is trying to now, that look, I am in a position, you should respect the position, but there should be a respectable person in the position to give the honor of the position. So if you have a position, it's like saying, okay, let's make a madman a king. We respect the throne, but the madman is sitting on the throne. So we are confused. So do we submit to the throne or submit to madness, and then we all end up in trouble? And that's the situation we see in our country today, where a lot of negative things are happening, and it's sad. But what I believe that we need to do is to understand that we are all going through an evolution, and we are learning every day. And when we realize that we are not right or we are not adequate, we work on ourselves to become better in different aspects.
So let's talk about the role of culture here, right? Because we're brought up to believe that elders cannot make a mistake. And unfortunately, we carried it into rulership and leadership. Looking at that scenario, you would think that because she was elderly, he should have ignored the shut up because she was elderly, right? The right thing to do was to maybe afterwards just say, the way you told me to shut up, I didn't like it because she was elderly. But now, we now have a place where culture and patriarchy and ego clashed. Because in his mind, and probably from where he's coming from, there are people that believe that women are inferior, no matter the age. So when she used the fact that I am older to say, brother, please keep quiet, let's hear what is happening. He now used that I am the man here to say, how dare you answer me? I'm telling you. So how do you solve this sort of issues where everybody's coming from their own understanding, everybody's coming from their own beliefs, everybody's coming from their own culture, and we are meeting in a workplace? Nigerians find it difficult to separate culture, ego, religion in a workplace.
That's a very important question. For your answer, remember that Mr. Foladiola, the GT Bank, when he was in Dubai, he was saying something that when he started GT Bank, they had a culture, and the culture was first name basis. That was everybody. But he found that like the women, it was many years after he realized that you don't dare call the female organs their names. Everybody were calling the female organs Mrs. or MA, G, but they found it easy to call the men Balaji, Efola, but it was difficult for them to find it, to call the women with first because of our culture. So even though he was trying to instill this modern, foreign, Western way of where you just first name, the people refused. I didn't even realize until many years later that all the women are being called by other than Mrs. Somebody. So how do we, going back to our question of mixing that culture, where do we find the middle ground?
Culture is very, very powerful. And the only way to deal with culture is to create a higher culture. Because you cannot eliminate culture. Culture is very, very important. But when you realize that this culture is not the right culture, then we create another culture that is superior to the culture that is existing. So for instance, when you come into a business place, they have what they call professionalism. Now the culture of professionalism now supersedes, am I your mate? Who do you think you are? You can't talk to me like that, because you now know that, look, we're in a professional environment. We are not in our village meeting. We are not in our family meeting. We are in a professional environment. So that's what happens. So when it comes to the issue of culture as regards to our upbringing, elder cannot be wrong. It's the fact that we think, as we should, that elders should be wiser. Elders should be more intelligent because of experience, but that has not been the truth. And we have come to realize that, if you permit me to go into the Bible here, when Job had a problem with his friends, they were all elderly that came to him. And one of them was Elimas or whatever, and the guy sat there, he didn't say anything, all the elders were talking, so the guy kept quiet. Then at the point he said, come, he said, I've kept quiet since, because I'm the youngest, because I thought that gray hair equals to wisdom. He said, but now I've come to realize that there is a spirit in man, and the inspiration of the Lord gives them understanding. So you might think that people are elderly and they should be wise, but they may not be. But the attitude with which, that's why the Bible says, rebuke not an elder. You see, the fact that what you are saying is true does not mean you should say it anyhow. You speak the truth in love. So sometimes it is not what is being said, it is the way it is being said.
Okay, so let's talk about the neutral party. So in this case in question again, the chairman of the committee on ethics just kept with the Gaveton carpenter throughout these records that happened. You kept hearing bang, 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 but at what point do you allow it play out? How do you even sit at where two people are already fighting and you are supposed to be the neutral party? Shoma Lugi at the end of the fight, or you would let it play out? Because there was another young man who was provoking the senator, one boy, and he was the more he touched that one, the more that one, and you will see the former minister of education.
Did you guys watch this video? I don't see all these things.
I don't know what you are watching.
No, it was
together.
It was live.
She was talking, but under control to that stuff.
I take exception to that.
She was trying to get
this is not market
chairman to take over to control the room. He was sitting as chairman. He allowed the senator.
They kept calling chairman.
We have to pack this.
So please, I know they won't touch the party.
You see, unfortunately, when you think someone is neutral, they may not be. A neutral party is supposed to bring peace.
Yeah.
But when someone is not neutral, it will be difficult for them to bring peace because they already have a place they are supposed to slant into. And if they realize that it is not wise for me to slant here because it will be obvious that I'm compromised, the best thing to do is to just stay aloof and operate the way they have done.
Okay, so let me go on a very short break because now we're going to pack this story because it's still International Women's Month and it's important that we touch on all the areas. So when we come back, we discuss about women and finance, how we build wealth.
When you don't let me talk again, that's what I will do for you.
Don't make noise on this. Okay, this is a brand new set. Brand new set. Okay, this one business. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Hello, my name is Sam Etuk, a lawyer with First Attorneys based in Lagos. We are consultants to
regular.
So let me go and look for my jammies. So
My 280 was 320. I suppose don't be one metal.
At this point, I contest my jammies.
I want to close the show.
I can go. I can.
That's all we can take. Ejeki, close the show. Give for that.
Ladies and gentlemen, number one, Unavailable by Davido featuring Musa Keys.
We also have today's chef special.
Yo, shine, 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 shiny, yeah. Say recap done, and it's time for number one on the countdown. One of Nigeria's hottest artists right now, his name is Rema, and this one is called Charm. Kick it.
For dessert and a bit of nightcap, we have the nighttime and online specials.
I want to start the gym, yeah? But do you know one thing that's actually keeping me back? You should start the gym, though, you're getting fat. Cricket.
She says she does show dancing to empower women.
What's the difference? There's a difference.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. So pole dancer, you're already almost naked. You're already almost naked.
No, it's the empowerment for me.
Sex can make a relationship better.
No, sex can never be overrated.
It is needed.
Especially when it's good sex too.
Almost every guy has been with somebody's girlfriend.
But they are for all of us now.
That's why you're still single.
I will not agree or disagree with that because I don't want to get into trouble. I have a home to go to.
Your next question.
Oh, you ready to fail?
Who is the better? You still some spoils name.
That woman.
Damn! Yeah,
Today we'll go here.
Hey.
Let's get to it.
And so we've been able to satisfy your cravings, yeah? Stay good. Entertainment for pure entertainment.
Now you can catch up with your favorite programs on TVC. Log on to www.youtube.com/TVC Entertainment. Join the fun.
Oh, wow. My typical day is filled with meetings, consultations, and of course, traffic. And that's all part of the hustle and bustle of city life. But the real fun starts when I can just settle down and catch up with all my favorite programs on TVC. Believe me, it's pure entertainment.
Thanks for staying with us. So thanks for staying with us. Before I move into the next topic, I wanted to read this message from Engineer Tijani, PhD. He said there is what is called dignity and certain offices are dignified and should be respected. If you have a 10-year-old chap as a leader in any community, your respect to that chap is the office he's holding in labor, and that is why we must dignify every meaningful job people are doing. It is the lack of honor and respect that has brought about disrespect to officials and ego from the officials to others. The bottom line here is that the senator and Madam due process is their lack of anger management. Action and reaction are equal but opposite according to Newton's third law of motion. You can't work in the corporate world and tell your colleagues or juniors to shut up. You rather deal with the issue officially and not verbalize it by exchange of words. So that's his own version. However, let's move on now to building wealth, especially as women who live in a patriarchal society. This year's theme is Accelerate Action, and we're still discussing gender parity. We're still discussing the fact that we want women to be visible. One of the reasons why we talked about this issue will happen with Natasha is because there are women trying to get into the Senate. And it's looking as if, with all the drama that's happening, the men are saying, please close the gate, don't let them come again, because we don't want their wahala. They are constantly on the offensive. You know, they're not here. So do you think, as women are trying to get more representation, get more gender parity, having more gender parity, do you think some of these issues have happened would have set us back further, or do we think we can still achieve that gender parity that we desire?
Not necessarily. It may set things backward in some areas, but if you are valuable and strategic, it becomes difficult for people to stop you from going forward. So most of the time, the reason why we are not able to get to where we need to get to is because, number one, we are not strategic. And then number two, we don't really come with the value that is needed. So when you are strategic, you will know how to be able to enter into a place. Because most of the time, when you are not strategic, you just feel that I should be there. But when you look at the place you want to enter into, you sit down and ask yourself, who are the power broker? Who are the gatekeeper? What are the limitations? What are the things standing against me? How can I work around it using the existing system to gain access? Once you understand that, you now become strategic. You find that what you thought was very difficult will become easy, because some of the people will start opening the door for you because you have made them feel as if they are the one giving you the place. Not that you are fighting for the place, because you strategically, because really in life, nobody comes up, people bring you up. We're all brought up, and there are people established in place that have to bring you up. But in order for them to bring you up, you must either be strategic to be able to make them see something that they need you to do, or you are valuable that they come for you because they need you.
Would I call that stooping? Stooping to conquer?
Yeah.
Which is,
and that's wisdom.
Wisdom.
Yeah.
Yes, which is what many people who get to the top have to do.
Yeah.
But now the fight is, why are we having to stoop when the men don't stoop?
Now, men do stoop too in places where they don't have what it takes and they need somebody to help them. Stoop. Yeah. What's that?
Fubara did not stoop.
He didn't stoop later.
So, you know,
but at the time he used to stoop. He stooped to get to where
he men do stoop, and now that I didn't stoop, see the outcome. Because it's not about the gender, it's about wisdom. Anywhere you want to go into, whether you like it or not, we're all here now. Look at it, we're all here. Guys, I've been here 12 years, 11 years, 8 years. If they come today and say, okay, we are removing 2 people, we are bringing 2 new people. Look at the weekend people that come to join you. The guys that come on weekend. Anytime they come to the midweek session, you will see the difference. They don't do the way they do on Saturday. That's wisdom. When they come, they're like, why? Because it's because, these are the people that are here.
That's not true.
No, listen.
They are confident.
We're not saying they are not confident. We're not saying that, but when they come, they're like, weekend, you will not say, weekend people came to join us. There is a way it creates a blend. If they bring a new person to the show that is not weekend, and the person comes feeling that no matter what people have done for 12 years, you are about to see the greatest thing, whether you like it or not. Even though you are women, you say okay, let's see now. So that's the way. So it's not about gender. Anywhere you want to enter into, people have gone ahead of you. There are things they know you don't know. There are things they don't have that you have. You have to have mutual respect and be strategic. Most of the time, it's not as if what we are looking for is wrong. The way we are going about it is what makes people to now say, okay, let's kukuma dabaro, because not everybody is matured enough to be able to say, okay, I don't, because say we achieve more when we don't care who gets the credit. Some people want to get the credit. If I'm not going to get the credit, let's scatter everything, because that is their low level of operation. And that's the way it works for some people.
Low level of operation.
It's very sad, within politics, sometimes you are not encouraged to be quiet. I know this instance now is looking like it shouldn't have been, but sometimes you know, your silence is consent.
Yeah.
And it could be consent to your loss of position, office, and a lot of things. For those of us who grew up in societies where we're told most of the time to be silent, my father would teach you to be boisterous, to be outspoken. Then when he goes to family, he said to say, no, be here, keep quiet, leave your uncles and their wives so they don't think I didn't raise you well. You know, silence could be consent to a more deeper abuse. You are forced to say something. Even if you are going to be silent in a way that is seen that you're hesitant. It is seen that you're open. How do you say it?
Now, you see, you don't necessarily have to be silent, but when you speak, the way you speak and what you say goes along. So we're in a meeting, just to give you this silent stuff. We're in a meeting, everybody's silent. Have you noticed that when we are in school, the people that ask questions are seen to be more intelligent, but they are not very intelligent. But because they ask questions, everybody now knows them. Everybody now says, so that's the way it works. Whether you like, when you are quiet, silence can never be quoted or misquoted. And that's why it can be seen as consent. So when you are in a place and you have opposing opinion, it's not because you now, I don't want to count to anybody. No, you already know that these people have patriarchal mindset, and I'm a woman. You don't now come. These people have ego. That is the strategy we are talking about. It is strategy that is the problem. So you now look, okay, they already have ego. Let us massage it. I know where I'm going to. Tabafe join no apata no okay. But you know, maybe border. So you have to balance those two things. So you can now say, excuse me, please, I'm confused though. I need clarity. You know me, I'm just coming. I don't know much.
Apologetic.
Yeah, I don't know much. Yeah, I don't know much.
Is Yoruba people that you want to insult somebody, you still apologize.
Sorry, this one you say we're going to that. I thought there was a time they said that this thing is not okay. So is it okay now? Because I don't understand. So that I can know. You have everybody will now. They will say this girl is intelligent. But you have spoken. So that whether you like it or don't forget. In politics, the problem I tell people, any meeting you go, my wife is a politician, and when they used to go, she keeps saying, I'm not going. I say, you will go. I say, make sure that in every meeting you talk, because there is a minute of meeting.
Your name has to be
read. Your name has to be there. There is a minute of meeting. Even if it's just a question, you have to. Your name has to be there. Those things, after a while, they will now say, that woman that is always talking. That's how she became a chief. Because they kept the answer. Then I said, look, listen, just be doing, women, this, women, that, be doing free things. One day, that's how they called and say, there is one woman that is always doing something. Let us bring her. Because if you are doing something, you think nobody's watching, they are watching.
You.
And then when something bigger comes, they may want to use you. They will now say, okay, let's use that woman that is already doing it and give her something small and chop the remaining. But you are already being.
Okay, so I want to go to Natasha's problem.
Oh, God.
Because I've heard you stoop to conquer, do this, do that. Okay, so how did it start? It started with her not agreeing to change her seat. So the Senate went against her. But now when she brought up the sexual harassment, I feel is when they now said, you don't chop the left, you are going. That's when things started to work.
Auntie, that's not a style. That's why you see what we see in public domain is different from reality. Don't forget, that's not how it starts. You are chummy with the Senate president.
Yeah.
You people are close, and they gave you positions that people believe you are not qualified for.
Yeah.
So let's not talk.
But they removed that from the position.
Now it's so already people already have to look at who you be when you come, because you close to Akpabi, they don't give you position. So already that was already there. She's not qualified because she's using relationship because they are family friend. We don't do it. So don't forget that's already there. So when people are envious of you, they are waiting for your downfall. When people are envious, they are waiting for you to make one mistake so that they can amplify it for your downfall. So there are already people waiting. So that was there. Don't forget, then we now start all the nightclub issue, and then little is brewing. Okay, like I say, problem day, paradise. So everybody's already waiting. And then the main thing now happened, and then she said, I'm not moving, I'm not. Now, what she did, Akpabio did, but nobody said anything about it. They didn't subscribe it. But she did it, but because there are underlying factors, and there are people already angry about some benefits.
Yeah. She shouldn't have.
So by the time she now brought up, look, anytime anything is happening, please understand the psychology in the atmosphere. Don't forget that we just had a case of a student that insulted a teacher that collected phone where she now turned around to say sexual harassment. So that was already in the when this one. So and it's already in the public domain that every time there is a man between women and men, women will quickly use the sexual harassment as a card. So whether it is true of us, we don't know. But don't forget, there is a precedent. She has lied against somebody before. And the answer, this one will be another one. So if there was no precedent, they will have probably taken it to say, okay, but because there was a precedent, people are now being, because I hear people saying women should support women. If you are a woman and you want to support a woman, you don't support blindly. You support objectively.
Wisdom. Sometimes.
So if you now realize that there is a precedent, you are like.
Sometimes you don't want to support objectively. You don't care.
But Alpha, how is it going? How is it helping you? And where don't carry you this
I'm worried.
You want to support blindly.
We are starting something dangerous by giving women double burden to prove a sexual harassment, because more times than not, oftentimes than not, there's sexual harassment when a woman says it is. In subtle ways, in different ways. But what we learnt growing up as a form of defense is that just try to play it down because nobody will believe you. Imagine that. Will I position a phone before somebody come and group me?
Now you see,
it will be grace that I'm making a video than somebody groups me. If I don't have a video and I say, why did you just group me? What we experience growing up, I don't know if anybody, I experienced it too many times. It's the person who say, I touched you. Person will form victim. I'll be like, but you just did. And the more loud, vocal you are about it, the more everybody say, why this guy just did like this safe? You were tagged, named, and labeled. Now you the first touch. Now it's not the ordinary touch you touch you. You were tagged, named, labeled.
Yeah, I understand that.
To silence you.
Yeah, I understand.
Now we're in a place where we're saying, if precedent is in the air and somebody just group me now, I will be saying, you God will judge you, instead of addressing it. If you send me subtle message and say, Auntie Alpha now, you know there's one with a funky alaja, you sexy alaja. That's not your place to tell me. I alaja so you don't tell me. Somebody has already told me at home, so keep quiet. That's not a nice way to approach me. So if you come and say, you can make me happy, you know, at some point I should be able to address it. But we are not saying that there's a precedent, so I will not be able to say it
now.
But I will be carrying it. How do we address it?
The precedent makes people that should speak to be careful of speaking, but it doesn't mean that the law should not take its course, because you say you have evidence. So that is why the meeting of this Ezekwesili thing, we need to still go and find out what happened.
Going to Natasha, I'm talking of a general. I'm saying that how many women now we have to position camera? Should we wear body cam?
No, you can't position.
Should we start wearing body cam to capture?
But don't ever be silent about your truth.
You know, somebody puts camera on a girl to go and catch. Sorry, somebody puts camera on a girl. Princess did, because they need to establish that abuse would have taken forever to establish, because no evidence. They put camera and set up a situation. They say it was staged.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that we're in that situation.
Which one gongo are we going to do to establish? Because there are sexual abuses.
I watched the senator and he said, the former senator said, in Nigeria, it's Nigeria now. Everybody tells you are beautiful now. Everybody says it's normal.
We have normalized abnormal behavior, but unfortunately,
we have normalized it.
We have very little time left, and I want to touch on the issue of marriage, because especially when you are trying to grow wealth, we're talking about gender parity. A lot of women, I got a story recently where a woman said that she's a graduate, she had a job at an oil company, and then her husband asked her to put the job aside for the kids. And after she's had about 3 kids, she wanted to go back, and he insisted no. Now, the reason is because he's able to get by, pay school fees, pay rent, but she wants more. It's not just about paying rent, it's about building wealth. And she goes to all these conferences where they say build wealth, and she doesn't have money, so she's thinking to herself, this man is not allowing me. But in my own view, nobody can allow you do you need anybody's permission to grow wealth? I mean, I think that I'd like you to touch on a bit of marriage, because a lot of women are going through that. You see,
marriage is a very complex thing, and like I've always said, the challenge we have is not the marriage itself, it's lack of adequate, effective courtship. So many of the problems we're trying to solve in marriage should never be there, because these people shouldn't have married in the first place. So most of the time, you have entered the situation, you now have to manage what you have met. Because a lot of people get married without discovering themselves.
True.
A lot of people get married without understanding who they are, where they are going to. And they now discover themselves inside the marriage. But when you are discovering yourself as a woman inside the marriage, and the man that discovered you has discovered himself before discovering you, and I've seen you as part of what will help him because what he needs to become. You now want to discover yourself and destroy the dynamics.
From his plan.
From away from his plan. It's going to affect a lot of things. So in order to do that, we have to become strategic again. You see, many years ago, I used to talk about the full-time housewife concept. And I used to help people understand that they say you should not go to work. Work is at home. Now we don't understand work at home. When I was saying this thing in the early 2000s, like, is this guy all right? I said, look, all this full-time, you are not, you can be at home and be doing a lot from the house. But they didn't understand. But now we understand that you can make money from home. So that's the reality. No matter what you have, if you don't love what you have, if you don't have what you love what you have, you have found yourself in this situation. You've got 3 kids, you have dreams, you have desires. This guy is saying, don't go out there. What I want to go and get out there, can I get it in here? Can I still make it without having to get out? Because once you are married, whether you are a man or a woman, or there are some things you will sacrifice for the rest of your life. There are some dreams that will never be achieved. Let's face reality. It will never be. It's reality. You have to sacrifice one for one.
Clergyman.
Yeah.
As a Muslim woman, I can say I'm done and move on.
Now listen.
So I don't have to stay in the place where they have a dream.
I'm done, I'm moving on.
Yes.
But every decision you make, you have to pay the price for the decision. And you have to face the consequence. Nobody is saying you cannot decide.
Does she want to leave her children?
So once you say you are done, you are moving on, no problem. You are done, you are moving on. You have your freedom, but your children will grow up in 2 homes. So you have to now sit down to say, when I weigh the emotion of, we're going to daddy's house, we're coming to mommy's house, daddy said, mommy said, and then I weigh this freedom I say I have. You will now know that, because it's when you get there, you now discover that thing you are calling freedom is not freedom. Because freedom is not the liberty to do whatever you want to do. That's not freedom, that's bondage. Freedom is the liberty to do what is right. Not that I can do anything I want to do. If you do anyhow, you say anyhow. But freedom is when I want to eat, I can eat. When I want to move, I can move. That's freedom. Not that you can move and go and enter somebody's house, or you can go and carry somebody's food. That's not freedom. So freedom is not the liberty to do anything you want to do. It's the liberty to do what is right. That's freedom. So most of what people are calling freedom is because there is a dream. Life. No, that's why I say we are not general. Life. You see, when people have dreams and desires that they cannot afford, the very minute they have money, they start using the money they have to pursue dreams that are not going anywhere. We see these things happening over and over again. A lot of people, once you are getting married to the past, the present, and the future version of that person. That future version we don't know. In that, I told you last time that a man will marry like 7 wives in one. So once you are in the marriage, you will go to school, you will grow, and you realize that your dreams and desires have changed. You were local, now you have traveled. You were talking about you went to a place, people are buying gold of 4,500. You stay in your level. The reason why you are able to stay in your level is because of your value, and somebody else will live there and say, I must do my own. And whatever it takes, they will get home and start fighting the husband. You're not a man. See whether they will come on 5,000 gold I couldn't buy. See my license, I married you. All these men, how do they have 2 heads? You don't know how they got it. Some of those people that you're looking at, the way you say your mom used to settle your gold. So those people that are spending that money, the money is the grandchild of investment. So that $5,000 is like chicken change to them. But to you won't do that. Some of those people, their children have left home. They are empty nesters. They are in their 50s now. But you see how 4 children that have never entered university. Your debt is in front. You cannot compare yourself with those people. You face your reality. Because in this world, we are happy. We are happy until we go online. You are happy until you go online. Once you go online, you become sad because you now begin to compare yourself with. So you are okay until you start comparing yourself with other people. So once you are married, though. So all you now need to do is to now sit down. So because I talk to I have come to the conclusion, let me face single people.
Yes, sir.
To help you. Yes. Because all these married, I've been pastoring for 33 years. I've been in this for 35 years. You will be shocked at what we see every day. Pastor, lawyer, doctor, what we know. There are people that are sitting down that you think all the way they even be wearing uniform, but it's not well. So finances here.
I have a friend that told me, how can I say this on national television? That told me a pastor sent her his private parts. And she was in shock because he was trying to get with her. And I know this pastor. I was saying to myself, Father in heaven.
You see, that is part of the
problem. You now said that you are married, So that man is staying in the marriage that he doesn't want to be in, and he's not happy. That's why he's trying to get with this lady.
Now you see, that is where we are. Let me help you understand that. You see, the way you presented it now, you're like a pastor. You have already put him on a pedestal. That is the problem. When there is no expectation, there is no somebody. You have already seen that pastor, so you expect that because he is a pastor, he's no more a human being. That guy, that pastor is a man of God. He's first of all a man with all the problems, the tendency, and the stupidity of a man. He has to now rise above that in order not to become that. So that man now, forget pastor, is just a man that is confused, that is bound by immorality, that needs deliverance.
And the girl is fine.
Okay, I don't know.
That's how we can take
I can't not go with that.
That was gone. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure having you to share with us.
I don't know if that's all we can take on the show. Pastor,
you know the lady.
You have not